Hey everybody, it's RJ, your host, and welcome to Hash It Out. In this episode, I'll be speaking with Friesen of Heylo Cannabis about education and transparency when it comes to cannabis extracts and vape products, as well as how to preserve the plant's native terpenes and rare cannabinoids upon extraction. We'll also discuss the recent legislative news in Washington state that opens up business opportunities to those previously shut out of the industry, and more. Without further ado, let's hash it out. My guest today is the founder and CEO of the cannabis extracts company Heylo Cannabis. Welcome to the show, Friesen. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going so well. I'm very stoked to have you here and to ask you about all you've got going on over at Heylo Cannabis and some of the state level legislative news happening where you're operating. So thank you so much for sitting down and having a conversation with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. We have so much to talk about and I'm excited to share it.
Well, let's do it. Let's dive right in here. For those who may not be familiar, for our viewers and listeners out there, I understand Heylo is, as I mentioned, a cannabis extracts processor located in Seattle, Washington. I understand the company's mission is to create greater education and transparency in cannabis extraction, which we love to hear. So tell me more about how the company started and then how you've grown to have the retail footprint that you currently do.
Well, we were founded in 2017. At the time, it was just me with a mission to help people get more out of life with cannabis. And education and transparency have always been at our core. And so the products that we make as a cannabis company are vape cartridges and topical products. But it really started out from being a consumer. I knew I wanted to get into the industry after working in medicine for a few years, and I also have a chemistry background. So cannabis seemed like a really great fit as an industry. So I booked a one-way ticket out from the Midwest to Seattle and landed a job with Eden Labs, who manufactures CO2 extraction equipment. So I was not only able to be entering this industry with an incredible manufacturer, but also as a new consumer into a legal market. Coming from the Midwest, I was still, texting my dealer, and then all of a sudden moving here had ample retail stores to choose from. And so I got to dip my toe into cannabis, botanical extraction as a whole, while also exploring the cannabis market. And I personally love vapes. I think, with the immediate effects, we're not smoking, there's just so many benefits to it. And so I loved exploring vape cartridges. But I also started to realize that they were kind of inconsistent and there weren't a whole lot of answers to my questions, which is one of the reasons I love chemistry. It's really able to answer a lot of my questions about life in general. And so I had to realize that I had to do my own research on things. And that was when I realized there are so many more components to take into consideration with respect to cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, all these things. And I started really getting passionate about it and talking to my friends about it and realized there was a huge need for information, which is why education and transparency are two of our core values at Heylo. And showing people all the ways that you can get more out of your life with it. And so I founded Heylo in 2017, like I said, and ever since then, we've just been growing organically because there is such a need for high quality vape cartridges, unique experiences that our products provide, both because we're sourcing all these different varieties from different growers and highlighting what's important about each one. So those terpenes that are diverse, the cannabinoids like CBG or THCV. So we go above and beyond what most companies do with respect to education and really showing people all the ways cannabis can give you different experiences. So we really have fun with it.
And that's so great that you focus on, like you said, transparency and education, because particularly in the cannabis vape world, like you said, there can be a lot of inconsistencies in terms of extraction methodology, additives even that some companies may put into their products. And so, people, of course, want to know what they're putting into their body, especially when it comes to the world of cannabis. And so that's great that you're putting that transparency and that education as the forefront. I just had a curious question. Where in the Midwest?
I moved here from Chicago, but I'm from Cleveland.
Ah, from Believe Land. I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm a
Yeah, right
believer.
on. I love it. I love it. See, I'm originally from Michigan. I was born and raised just
Oh,
about an hour north of Detroit. So I
nice.
share that Midwestern blood. Yes,
Awesome.
indeed.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
wonder
Do
you're
you
so
all
cool.
see? There you go. There you go. Yeah. It's all about yeah. Those Midwesterners that move to the West Coast, man. Now they've got it going on. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we're weatherborn, right? Like we get that lake effect snow. We get all the seasons out here. So you got to have a thick skin for
Oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah.
Um, you had mentioned that you have background not only in medicine but also in chemistry, and I wanted to ask you about that because I understand that another one of Heylo's objectives as a company is to preserve the plant's native terpenes and rare cannabinoids. You mentioned a few of them just a moment ago. So tell me about how your personal experience, again in chemistry and medicine, plays into that objective with Heylo Cannabis.
Well, so many consumers, even to this day, say, vapes just don't do it for me. I love
Mm.
smoking flower. That gives me one type of experience. And vapes just, give you kind of a narrow experience. And so I really took that as a challenge and said, why is that? And why is, this grower's blue dream different from this grower's, or, this extraction methodology different from this? And so I really started digging into that and found that the reason is mainly because most vape cartridge companies are seeking to produce the highest THC product, which, no fault to them necessarily. Consumers really believe that that drives the superior experience. But what we've realized is we're getting that diversion from the plant. So we're getting further and further away from the plant. And so our objective is to say, how can we create an extract that's as close to the plant as possible? And so, first and foremost, we focused on the input material. So, most processors use trim or byproduct to make their extracts. And that, again, is taking it a little bit further away from that flower experience. So, we only use flower in our extracts. The second step is, optimizing our CO2 extraction process to preserve, like you said, the native terpenes and the cannabinoids of the plant so that we can make sure that chemical profile of the extract at the end of the day is the same or as close to the flower that we started with so that we can deliver the best experience. And so we've worked for years. I think I had a little bit of a leg up because of my background in chemistry and also working for Eden Labs. But really harnessing the power of CO2 because it is one of the best solvents to use for cannabis in that full spectrum, like holistic aspect of it.
Yeah.
So our whole goal has been to continue to optimize our extraction method and our refinement to make sure that we're preserving that profile. So just to recap, it's starting with flower and then it's optimizing for that full profile. So we actually take a little bit longer than most people to extract our product because some of those cannabinoids don't come out until the very end. And so
Mm.
instead of, doing a shorter timeline and using byproduct and focusing on THC, our cartridges always have a really broad and diverse chemical profile that matches the hundreds of compounds that are found in the cannabis flower.
I see. I just lost a light here, as you can see, but uh, that's brilliant. What have you been hearing from your customers then, who perhaps may have tried other vape products in the past, and like you said, may have said they just don't do it for me. There are some consumers that get turned off when they hear about different extraction methods that they're perhaps a little more wary of partaking in. So what have you been hearing about your customers who are coming to you and experiencing the difference in your products?
Well, you mentioned additives and things like that that ended up
Mm.
causing a big storm about 2 years ago in
Yeah.
2019. And
Yeah.
during that crisis, we were super vocal because we wanted people to know that, with my background and our mission, we from day one have taken extra steps to make sure the products are safe. So our products are always 100% cannabis. And
Mm.
it was a surprise to people to know that not everybody does that. And so
Hmm.
we have always been very vocal about our production process. We offer tours and things like that. But consumers, we have a really high retention rate because when we have a product on the shelf, it delivers not only on the quality but the experience. And I wanted to show you our packaging because it's pretty unique.
Yes.
We left behind the indica and sativa nomenclature from day one. And the
Hmm.
reason was I personally have had many experiences where I'm buying a sativa and it puts me to sleep,
Yep.
or other way around. Sounds
Yep.
like you have too.
Yeah, totally. Oh, totally. Yeah. I've not really like listened to the hybrid indica sativa classification. I've sort of done away with paying attention to that in my own personal experience too, because I've been just like that too. I've had those experiences.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it a lot of times that nomenclature comes from, the genetics of the plant or how it grows. And
Mm-hmm.
what we know now is that we can look at the chemistry of the product to know more about how it's going to make us feel. And so
Mm.
it might be backwards, but our boxes have a green label. Right here, you can see a green label, which
Yeah.
means daytime, and it'll be blue if it's nighttime. And there's a scale to tell you how daytime to nighttime it is. And then we also have the unique chemistry that may be in it and activities that pair with it. So this new workout plan is putting in work, moving, and game day. And all of that
Ooh.
information comes from actual reviews of the product. So customers know that when they see that green label or they see, game day, they know that somebody tried it and said that that's how it made them feel. And so we take an average of all those reviews and we put them together, and that's how we create the packaging. And
I
so
see.
when people look at that, they not only get inspired because they're saying, "Oh, I've been looking for something to help me go grocery shopping," or
Yeah.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
But they also know that it's going to deliver. And so our packaging paired with how we go about our quality assurance measures make sure that the product's going to deliver. So
Mm.
that was a long-winded answer to customers love it, and our retention rate is really high because we deliver.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. And I'm sure that they enjoy the consistency of the products as well. And I'm always looking for the perfect strain for me to motivate me to get to the gym four days a week, because some days it's a struggle. Some days it's a
It
struggle.
is.
You know what I mean?
This
Like
one will
it's
zip you right up.
okay. All right. I'm down. I'm down for it. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Especially in this new pandemic age, that couch is just, it's always calling my name. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
you got to
Yeah, we
find
do
any
have
reason to get
couch,
up out.
if you
Yeah.
need something to inspire the couch time, we got that too.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to let you know that we have Spotify playlists for every strain. So if you need something even more to get you in the mood to work out, for example, we've
I
got
love it.
you.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I'm going to have to, you're going to have to send me that link after this recording here. I wanted to talk a little bit also about Heylo's other endeavors, because I understand Heylo hosts public events, which are called Heylo sessions, and those are to support local charities and arts while encouraging cannabis education. There's also Heylo Create, which operates in consulting and events. So tell me more about those endeavors and how they sort of play into the overarching umbrella that is Heylo Cannabis.
Well, we all are familiar with the tax laws in the U.S. with respect to
Mm.
cannabis companies not being able to operate as normal businesses, and so with our education and also wanting to make sure we were separating it from like direct cannabis um, industry, we wanted to make sure we were creating access to education that could reach beyond Washington while we're still only operating in Washington. And so
Mm.
we created Heylo Create, and Heylo Create manages all the branding, marketing, the educational content, and our events, Heylo Sessions, so that we can have a broader audience. And so Heylo Cannabis is basically operates with the branding of Heylo, but Heylo Create is really much bigger than that. And so our sessions and our educational events have really been about fostering community because community is really important to us. And we know that in order to grow the way we want to organically, we need to be able to, have that community to support us and also to support the community and give back. And so Heylo Sessions, like you said, is an events company, and we really look to create a safe environment for people to come and enjoy music, art, and that experience while high or not. And so it's really grown to this incredible um, following, looking for those types of experiences where we're talking about cannabis, we're destigmatizing it, we're showing people what stoners look like, and
Yeah.
controlling the conversation around that. And so Heylo Sessions has had a number of events where we'll have an artist do a set, and at the same time, we'll have vendors showing people, how their products can help their lives. And we have live paintings, and you mentioned it as well. We choose a charitable organization for every event to give back to. And usually that's a passion project for the artist as well. So we try to make it relevant. But we're really all about those extra level experiences. And so who wouldn't want to be high enjoying a concert or seeing live painting, and so yeah, we really just try to engage all the senses.
I love that. I love that. I'm always encouraged to hear when a cannabis company makes a point to practice that reciprocity in the community, because I truly believe that the cannabis industry sets itself apart from other industries and that it is so community driven. However, in this new day and age with the corporatization of cannabis, it really is the responsibility of the business owners and consumers alike to foster that community and to keep that community alive. And so it's so great that cannabis has been bringing people together from all walks of life for centuries, for generations to sesh together. And so that's great that you're fostering that community in your local area there. Speaking of your local area, I would be remiss if we didn't speak briefly about some of the legislative news that is happening in the state of Washington. Starting October 2nd, people in the state of Washington who have felony convictions on their criminal records will now be able to apply for a license to grow, process, and sell cannabis. Up until then, a single felony prevented someone from being considered to have a license to do any of that. So tell me what your thoughts are first on that new policy, and then what do you see as the potential implications that new legislation will have on your state's cannabis sector?
I'm so glad you brought that up because it's a huge step forward in our state. I mean, as we know, there are still many, many, many people that are in jail even for selling or growing or consuming cannabis. And here we are profiting off of it. And so it's really important to highlight these steps forward because there's still so much work to do. And I would say that this is only going to benefit our industry here in Washington and bring that more like grassroots and less commercialization to this industry. And we'll also bring people in who are actually passionate about this plant because they've been shut out for so long. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think it will create much more diversity among this industry and kind of revitalize a consumer base that I think has lost interest in supporting the recreational industry to date. So I'm excited to see what happens here.
Sure, sure. I think it's paramount that we don't forget the people who upheld the legacy market, who were making it work when it was illegal straight up. Like it was, and they were still making it work, still, as you said, being the plugs out there for us in the Midwest, and still getting that good herb out to people. It's so important that we don't leave those people out of the legal market, which unfortunately we've already been seeing happening more often than not. And so I agree with you. I truly hope that this new legislation in Washington state really diversifies the market and brings in those people who have been previously shut out. Because as we've been talking about here, it really is all about the community at the end of the day, and coming together. That's what cannabis does. It brings people together.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Now we are already in October. It's already mid-October. I can't believe that 2021 is almost finished. It seems like it's been the blink of an eye, but what are you looking forward to for the rest of the year over at Heylo Cannabis? What have you got in the works? And what are you also looking forward to in 2022 if we make it that far, God willing,
We've got to hope, every
We
day is
gotta
a
hope.
gift.
Yeah. We gotta hold on to it. We gotta hold on to it out here.
Yeah, I won't say that 2021 has been easy. In fact, when we started 2021, it almost felt like it was going to be tougher than 2020.
Whew.
But I think we've come out ahead, and Halo's set to grow over 15% this year. So we're really grateful for that. And one thing that I wanted to mention was we just
Yeah.
launched a concentrate line. So
Ooh. I
it's
love when
CO2.
people come with the visual aids. This is
Oh, yeah.
great. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, so
We
tell
just
me more
launched
about that.
there aren't a whole lot of CO2 dabbable concentrates on the market, and we're excited to have launched it in response to so many customers asking us for it. So we just launched it in the beginning of September,
Yeah.
and so far so good. I mean, it's been really well received. A lot of people haven't tasted CO2 this good, and so CO2 concentrate this good. So we're really proud of that and excited to keep going strong through the end of the year.
Mm.
And one thing we're focusing on with those concentrates are introducing more of those minor cannabinoids. So we launched with a relatively higher THCV one, and then also our latest and greatest CBJesus, which is our 3 to 1 CBG to THC concentrate. It really makes the day a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
we're gonna launch a blueberry. We call our concentrate jam because it has the consistency of jam, and so we're launching blueberry jam next month. But yeah, so lots of fun stuff for the rest of the year. And in 2022, I'm looking forward to opening up in Ohio.
Ooh. Wait. Did you say 2021 or 2022? What
Oh,
did you just
sorry,
say?
2022.
2022. Wow, in Ohio. Right on, right on. Spreading it back to the roots. That's what we love to see. Um,
Yes.
do you have any information? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot with this, like, sort of a random question to follow up on that, but how is the development of that going?
It's going great. It's taken a really long time, as any COVID project does.
Sure.
But we are so excited to have a cultivation and processing license in Ohio. And it's going to be through and through a family business. My parents, my siblings, we're all in on it together, and can't wait to bring Halo out there. And one of the cool things is we're going to be able to produce our own flower. So while we
Wow.
haven't ever done that in Washington, we're going to do that in Ohio. So I can't wait to be able to experience the plant in a different way. So I'm
Wow.
really excited.
Right on. And you're looking at Cleveland as the location?
Yes, sir.
We love it. We
Bringing it
love it.
back.
Believe land, man. Can't forget it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I will certainly have to look y'all up when I'm over back in the Midwest, or hey, when I'm up north, I will definitely be looking y'all
Please
up too.
do.
I
Come
love getting up to
visit.
Washington. Yeah, I
Take
don't
a
get up there
tour.
nearly as enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'd
certainly.
love to host you.
I love a good tour. I will never say no to a good tour. I love it. Right on. Well,
Yeah.
hey, thank you so much for offering all of this information and your perspective and being very generous with your time. I very much appreciate it, and I continue to wish you all the best over at Heylo Cannabis, and please continue to be well and stay safe out here in this wild world.
RJ, it's been so awesome chatting with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, no problem. Low Friesen, everybody. That is it for Hash It Out, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I am your host, RJ Balde, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out our channel. Click here to watch another episode of Hash It Out. To find more cannabis industry reporting, insider stories, and to stay up to date on the latest trends, make sure to subscribe and keep up with our Trichomes community app. Download it now for free, and we'll see you there.